Hello, we got some new pictures this week. About 10 new pictures. Um, about half of them are from scenes we've already seen bits of, but about half of them is new stuff that we haven't seen anything of. So I thought I'd talk about them a bit. I'm gonna talk about them chronologically, in chronological order. Based on what we know about the film. The first picture is the Dark Lord ascending scene. It's at Malfoy Manor. Is the bad side, the evil side of, and they're sitting at the table, and we have Bellatrix and Narcissa and Lucius, Draco, and then two down from Draco is Yaxley. Yaxley is the Death Eater that chases Ron and the trio out of the Ministry of Magic during that scene. And then we also have, to the right of Bellatrix, I think it looks sort of like Albert Runcorn. And in the book, Albert Runcorn he is an informer. He informs on the Ministry of Magic employees to the bad side, and he's also the man that Harry uses Polyjuice Potion to turn into for the Ministry of Magic scene. And I think it looks like him, but it could not be him. Also, it's not really certain. In the film, Albert Runcorn is still who Harry turns into using Polyjuice Potion, but it's possible that they may have him be a Death Eater instead of just an informer. But we don't really know that. It just sort of looked like him to me, so that's a possibility. Yeah, I really like how the Malfoys look in this scene. Like, Narcissa looks scared, and Lucius and Draco they're not even looking at Voldemort. If Voldemort's where we are sitting, they're like looking at the table and like they're scared. So I like it. It looks good. And the next photo is Harry at releasing Hedwig at Privet Drive, and some of the scenes have captions, and the caption for this scene is "Everyone mounts up and leaves Privet Drive. Harry says goodbye to Hedwig." This is scene 22. And I think, there was a leaked script a few months back where it said Harry released Hedwig, and Hedwig comes back during the battle, the Seven Potters battle, and flies in between Harry and a curse, and dies that way. Instead of, in the book, Harry takes Hedwig with him on the motorbike, and Hedwig gets hit by the killing curse on the bike instead of in flight. I don't know how I feel about that, because I really like how in the book Hedwig's death, it's like the first death of the book, and it's very sudden and violent, and Hedwig's just gone, just like that. And it's just so unexpected. It's like the casualties of war, and it shows like the violence of war, and to make his death somehow heroic, it just takes away from that, the violence of war. And I don't know how I really feel about that, but I think the scene could still be fine. It's just different in the book, and I think I liked how it was in the book better, just because it was more. I thought it was more of an impact to have it just be like violence. Just that was it. But it could still be fine. And the next photo is yes, Hagrid and Harry on the motorbike. Seven Potters scene. This is kind of a standard shot. The only thing of interest is that the moon is full, which wouldn't be significant except for the fact that Lupin turns into a werewolf when when the moon is full. And I guess this is a difference from the book. I've only read the third book a couple times because the first 3 books are kind of younger, and so I've only read them a few times. But I think in the book, Lupin turns into a werewolf when the moon is full. But I don't think it seems inconsistent with what we know in the films, where it seems like the potions that Lupin takes seem to suppress him turning into a werewolf. Because in the third film, Sirius says that when Lupin's turning into a werewolf, Sirius says, "Have you taken your potions tonight?" Suggesting that if he had taken his potions, that he would have not turned into a werewolf, even though the moon was full. So it feels like it feels like in the book, in the movie, that's that's all we know. So I think that they could keep it that way, and it would be fine. I don't think that they're gonna have Lupin turn into a werewolf while they're flying in the Seven Potters scene. That just seems a very bizarre thing to do, and yeah, I don't think they'll do that. But okay, and on to the next shot. We have Ginny and Harry kissing, or almost kissing, I guess. And the caption for this scene is, "Harry and Ginny kiss. George Weasley interrupts them, and it's at the Burrow in the kitchen." And this is scene 37. And yeah, they're wearing their wedding clothes. So this is on the day of the wedding. And scene 37, I think that suggests, from the leaked script that I mentioned earlier, we know that scene 32 is the trio by a bale of hay. And we have a paper that a child found that also had some listings of a scene. It's sort of random, but it's always been correct, the list that this child's found. And it had scene 33 as Harry sleeping fitfully, and scene 35 as Harry waking up with his wand, and then scene 34 is Ollivander being tortured. And so the Harry Ginny kiss is scene 37. So there's only like one scene in between Harry waking up and this kiss, or this almost kiss. And I think that means that the trio will only be at the Burrow from after the Seven Potters scene. That they'll come there that night, and then they will leave. The wedding will be the next day during the evening, so they will like be there for around, like for that evening, and then for the next day till the evening. So for like 24 hours they'll be at the Burrow, and that will be it, and then they'll be out of there. There was also some dialogue we heard from the San Diego Comic-Con, and Snape was talking that they were going to move Harry on his birthday, which is moved up a day in the timeline from the book. And that's consistent with this idea that they'll only be at the Burrow for 24 hours. Yeah, and it says, the caption says, "George interrupts them." I think maybe that's a change because it's sort of a serious moment when Ron interrupts him, and maybe they don't want to have that sort of moment then. And so they're just going to have a sort of funny interruption of having George interrupt them. I don't really think that's too big of a deal. That's fine with me. And the next photo, we've seen a lot of shots of this scene. This is the trio entering Grimmauld Place. It's a nice shot, though. Hermione with the beaded bag, and you see that nice snake-shaped knocker on the door. Looks nice. And this is right before the spell comes at them, the dust spell, and that's going to be in the film. And the next photo is, we've had lots of shots of this also. This is Harry and Ron outside the Ministry of Magic. They're about to stun Mafalda Hopkirk, who Hermione impersonates in the Ministry of Magic scene using Polyjuice Potion. And the next one is the splinching scene, where Hermione is putting up the protections. The caption for this scene is Scene 87. Ron gets splinched. Hermione fixes him with Dittany and sets up protection charms. Harry looks after Ron. And that seems to be very, very much the same as it was in the book, the scene. And yeah, only thing about this scene is we have had various looks at this scene with the blood on Hermione's hand. The initial one in the sneak peek for Half-Blood Prince, there was a sneak peek on the DVD, and it was the blood was red then, but the shot wasn't quite so vibrant as it is here. And then in the MTV teaser, the blood was almost like a black color. It was like the color was really washed out in that trailer. And then in the next one, the official teaser trailer, the blood was completely gone. There was no blood. And her hands were like this pale white color. Yeah, that was never going to be the final shot. It just looked terrible. So, and I actually think that this looks really good. This shot is really vibrant in the blood. I think this is enough blood. If this is how it is in the film, I'm happy with it. It looks good. I really like the vibrancy of this shot.